I opened the DNA results at my daughter's birthday party. The envelope was heavier than I expected. So was the truth inside. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to where it started. 3 weeks earlier, Lily's 7th birthday. 30 people in our backyard. Balloons tied to the fence posts. Cake shaped like a unicorn. Kids screaming in that good way that means everyone's having fun. I was manning the grill when I noticed it. A black Audi. Parked across the street. Engine running. Nobody getting out. Lily tugged on my shirt. "Daddy, can we do presents now?" "Sure, sweetheart." I kissed the top of her head. She smelled like strawberry shampoo and frosting. 7 years old, my whole world. Emma was inside, arranging gift bags. I watched her through the kitchen window. My wife, 8 years married, beautiful in that effortless way, brown hair pulled back, laughing at something my mother said. Perfect. Everything was perfect. Lily tore into her presents with pure joy. Books, art supplies, a soccer ball from her best friend Madison. Then she picked up a card I didn't recognize. Heavy cardstock, expensive, embossed edges that caught the light. "Who's this from?" I asked. Emma's smile flickered, just for a second. "I don't know. Maybe the Johnsons?" But there was no signature, just a printed message. "To a special girl on her special day." My mother, Margaret, leaned over. "That's lovely paper. Must have cost more than we spent on the entire party." I tucked the card into my pocket. Forgot about it, or tried to. The party wound down. Parents collected their sugar-rushed kids. The black Audi finally drove away, slow, like whoever was inside wanted one last look. That night, Emma said she was going out for book club. She did that every Tuesday, had for years. I was used to it. I put Lily to bed, read her 3 stories instead of 1 because birthdays deserve extra. "Daddy," she said, already half asleep. "Am I your favorite?" "You're my only," I said, "which makes you the best." She smiled. "Mommy says I have your eyes." Everyone said that. Teachers, neighbors, strangers at the grocery store. "She's got your determination, too." I kissed her forehead, turned off the light, went downstairs to clean up wrapping paper and deflated balloons. Emma's car was in the driveway. She'd taken an Uber to book club, she'd said. But something made me check. Don't ask me why. Call it instinct. Call it the universe trying to warn me. I opened the glove compartment looking for the insurance card. That's when I found it. A second phone. Cheap burner. Android, not iPhone. Screen protector cracked in the corner like it had been dropped. Hard. It was unlocked. I didn't mean to read the messages. That's a lie. I meant to. I needed to. The contact name was just a letter. D. The most recent message was from 3 hours ago, while 30 people ate cake in our backyard. "Can't wait to see you. She's getting so big. She has a smile, but I see us in her eyes." Our daughter, us, his smile. I scrolled up. Weeks of messages, months. The timestamps went back further than I wanted to follow. 8 years. The messages went back 8 years. My hands went numb. The phone nearly slipped. I took screenshots. All of them. Sent them to my own email. Deleted the sent messages from the burner. Put it back exactly where I found it. Then I sat in the dark car and tried to remember how to breathe. The front door opened. Emma, home from book club. Except the last message had been sent from our bedroom 3 hours ago. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay next to my wife and listened to her breathe and wondered how long you can live with someone and not know them at all. By morning, I'd made a decision. "Emma," I said over coffee. Lily was still asleep upstairs. "We need to talk." She looked up from her phone, her real phone, the one I was supposed to know about. "About what?" "About D." The color drained from her face, just like that. Confirmation. "I don't know what you mean." "The messages. She has his smile." "Who's D, Emma?" She stood up fast, chair scraping. "You went through my things?" "You have a second phone, hidden in your car. 8 years of messages. It's not what you think. Then what is it? She was crying now. Real tears or tactical tears, I couldn't tell anymore. It was a mistake, once, years ago. I ended it. The last message was yesterday, during our daughter's birthday party. Okay, fine. I've been in contact with him, but nothing physical. Not anymore, I swear. How long? Jake, please. How? Long? She closed her eyes. 8 years. The kitchen tilted. 8 years. Lily was 7. What's his last name? My voice sounded far away, like someone else was asking. Emma went very still. Why does that matter? What's his last name? She wouldn't answer, couldn't answer. And in that silence, I understood. She didn't want me to connect the dots. If you've ever felt something was wrong but couldn't name it, you know this feeling. That moment when your gut finally catches up to reality. When the picture you've been staring at suddenly shifts and you see what was there all along. Leave "I understand" in the comments if you've been there. I called in sick to work, told Emma I needed space to think. Drove to the pharmacy on the other side of town, where nobody knew me. The DNA test kit sat on the shelf between pregnancy tests and blood pressure monitors. Life-changing merchandise, displayed like laundry detergent. The pharmacist rang it up without looking at me. That'll be 99 Audi 7s. I handed her my credit card. My hand was steady. That surprised me. The kit came in a plain box. Instructions in 12 languages. Collect sample from child. Collect sample from alleged father. Mail to lab in prepaid envelope. Results in 3 to 5 days. 3 to 5 days. That's how long before truth killed everything. I had Lily's toothbrush in my pocket. Pink. Disney princesses on the handle. I'd grabbed it that morning after she'd left for school. She'd get a new one. I'd tell her this one fell in the toilet or something. Easy lie. I was learning how easy lies could be. The waiting was the worst part. Day 1. Went through the motions, made breakfast, dropped Lily at school. She held my hand crossing the parking lot, told me about a boy who'd push Madison at recess. I told the teacher, was that tattling or helping? Helping, I said. Always help. Like you help me with math? Exactly like that. She squeezed my hand. 3 pumps. Our code. I love you. I squeezed back. 3 pumps. Even if, even though, even when. Day 2. Memories started attacking me. Teaching Lily to ride a bike. She'd fallen, scraped her knee bloody, refused to quit. Because you never quit, Daddy. The neighbor Mrs. Chen had smiled. She has your determination. I'd wanted that to be biology. Wanted it to be chromosomes and DNA and something permanent that couldn't be taken away. It was just love. Day 3. Found the baby photos. Hayspittal bracelet I'd kept in a box in the garage. Lily Martinez, born 2:47 a.m., 7 lbs 3 Oz. I'd been there, held Emma's hand through 18 hours of labor, cut the cord. First person to hold her besides Emma. She'd opened her eyes and looked right at me. I'd been sure of it. She knew me. Babies can't see clearly at birth. I'd learned that later, but I'd been so sure. Day 4. Lily brought home a drawing from art class. 3 figures. Crayon on construction paper. Blue figure labeled Daddy. Yellow figure labeled Me. Purple figure labeled Grandma. No Emma. This is beautiful, sweetheart, but where's Mommy? She shrugged. I ran out of crayons. There were 16 crayons in the box, unused. Kids know, somehow, they always know. Day 5. The email arrived at 6:47 a.m. Subject line, DNA test results ready. I stared at the screen for 12 minutes. My coffee went cold. Lily called from upstairs asking what was for breakfast. Pancakes, I yelled back. The chocolate chip ones? My finger hovered over the email. Once opened, I couldn't unknow. Click. The report loaded. 50 pages. Most people only read page 1. The summary, the verdict. Sample A. Alleged father, Jake Martinez. Sample B. Child, Lily Martinez. Genetic markers analyzed, 23. Matches. Insufficient for biological paternity. I read it 3 times. The number didn't change. Probability of paternity, 0.0%. 0.00%. Math doesn't lie, neither does DNA. The room was very quiet. I could hear the kitchen clock ticking. Lily singing upstairs, Emma's shower running. Perfect families don't shatter all at once. They crack, slow. One truth at a time. I kept reading. Something in the report caught my attention. A footnote. Medical note in small print. Genetic relationship detected. Refer to extended family analysis for clarification. What did that mean? But there was a footnote. A medical note that made no sense. I called the number on the report. Lab technician answered on the second ring. Professional, distant. She'd probably delivered this news 100 times. Mr. Martinez, I'm sorry for the results. If you'd like to discuss... The footnote, what does it mean? Genetic relationship detected? Pause. Papers shuffling. That's unusual. Let me pull up your file. Keyboard clicking. Yes. The system flagged shared genetic markers. Not enough for paternity, but significant enough to indicate familial connection. What kind of connection? Could be extended family, uncle, cousin, half-sibling in some cases. You'd need a more comprehensive panel to determine exact relationship. The phone felt heavy in my hand. How much shared DNA are we talking? Approximately 23-25%. That typically indicates... I hung up. Uncle, the word echoed. I had one brother, half-brother technically, David. Same father, different mothers. We'd been raised in different states, only saw each other at mandatory family gatherings, the kind where everyone smiled for photos then didn't speak for years. I hadn't talked to David in 15 years, not since Dad's funeral, not since David had accused me of being the favorite, of stealing everything that should have been his. David's last name was Morrison, his mother's name, not Martinez. Emma had gone pale when I'd asked for Dee's last name. No. I opened Emma's burner phone, scrolled back to the first message. 8 years ago, 2 weeks before our wedding. Saw the engagement announcement. Congratulations. You picked the golden boy, just like everyone does. My brother, my wife, not my daughter. I made it to the bathroom before I threw up. Sarah Chen's law office smelled like burnt coffee and old paper. Decisions made. Lives split. She was younger than I expected. Early 40s, sharp eyes, no wedding ring. She'd seen this before. I could tell by how she didn't flinch when I laid out the story. Paternity fraud, she said, combined with infidelity. You have grounds for divorce, certainly. Custody is more complicated. Complicated how? Sarah slid a folder across her desk. In most states, if you're married when a child is born, you're the legal father, even if you're not the biological father. You signed the birth certificate? Of course I signed it. I thought, I know. Her voice was kind, practice kind. But legally, you established paternity. Courts prioritize stability for the child. They don't care about DNA as much as you'd think. The walls felt too close. So I have no rights? I didn't say that, but David, if he is the biological father, could petition for custody or visitation, especially if he can prove Emma kept him from the child. He wasn't kept from anything. He's been watching, at birthday parties, school events, the PI I hired. You hired a PI? Yesterday. Sarah leaned back. Good. We'll need evidence. Everything. Messages, photos, witnesses. You're fighting on 2 fronts now. One against Emma for fraud. One potentially against David for custody. She slid another paper across. There's one more test we need to run. Mike, the private investigator, looked like someone's uncle. Polo shirt, khakis, receding hairline. You'd never notice him in a crowd. That was the point. He'd been following Emma for 3 days, following David for 2. The manila folder was thick. "Your wife's affair started 8 years ago," Mike said. "But it wasn't once. It was consistent. Weekly meetings, sometimes twice a week. Always the same hotel, the Marriott on 7th. He laid out receipts. Emma's credit card, charges I'd never questioned, book club nights, girls' weekend trips. The numbers didn't lie. David Carson Morrison, age 42, civil engineer, never married, lives alone. Mike pulled out surveillance photos. David at a coffee shop, David at a park, David at Lily's school. When was this taken? Last Tuesday, her soccer practice. He sat 3 rows back in the bleachers, took photos on his phone. My hands clenched. How many times? I found evidence of 14 separate occasions over the past 2 years. Kindergarten graduation, first soccer game, school play, always in the background, always watching. Mike pulled out more photos, enhanced images. David's face zoomed in. Features I recognized because I saw them every morning in the mirror. Same nose, same jawline, same eyes that everyone said Lily had inherited from me. They weren't wrong. She did have those eyes, just not from the father she thought. There's more. Mike pulled out phone records. David attempted to friend request Lily on social media, twice. Emma blocked him both times. When? 6 months ago, then again 3 weeks ago. Right before the birthday party, right before the unsigned card. The card, I said. From the party, can you trace it? Mike nodded. Already did. Purchased at a specialty bookstore downtown. I showed them David's photo. Clerk remembered him. Said he spent 20 minutes picking out the perfect card. Then Mike showed me David's Facebook page. Privacy settings loose enough to see the important parts. Relationship status, single. Changed to, it's complicated 8 years ago. The day I proposed to Emma. I didn't plan to confront Emma again so soon, but she was packing a suitcase when I got home. Tuesday afternoon, Lily still at school. Going somewhere? My voice was ice. Emma jumped. Jake, I didn't hear you. David Morrison. She froze, sweater half folded in her hands. That's his last name, isn't it? David Morrison. My brother. The sweater fell. Emma's face crumbled. Not tactical tears this time. Real ones. The kind that come from knowing you're caught. How long have you known? She whispered. Does it matter? Jake, please, I can explain. 8 years, Emma. You've been sleeping with my brother for 8 years. You got pregnant with his child and let me believe she was mine. So please, explain that. My mother appeared in the doorway. Margaret. I'd called her on the way home. Needed a witness. Needed someone on my team. You need to leave, Emma, Margaret said. Quiet, firm, the voice that had raised me right. This is my house too. The house your lies paid for? I pulled out the PI's folder, dropped it on the kitchen table, photos scattered, receipts, hotel keycards Mike had retrieved from Emma's old purse, the one she'd shoved in the back of the closet. Emma's hands shook as she looked at the evidence. It wasn't supposed to be like this. How was it supposed to be? David. He's not well, Jake. Mentally. He became obsessed. I tried to end it so many times. He threatened. She was sobbing now. He threatened to tell you, to take Lily. I was protecting her, protecting you. By lying for 8 years. By keeping David away. Emma's voice broke. Do you think I wanted this? He's dangerous, Jake. Controlling. I have a journal, evidence. He stalked me, threatened me. I was trying to get a restraining order, but what? But you can't get an order against someone without admitting why they're in your life. Margaret stepped forward. Emma, if David is dangerous, why did you stay with him? I didn't, not after Lily was born. I cut contact, changed my number. He found me anyway. He always found me. She pulled out a journal from her purse, leather-bound. Every page filled with dates, times, incidents. Emma's handwriting, increasingly frantic. I documented everything in case something happened, in case I needed proof. I took the journal, flipped through pages. March 2019. David showed up at my work, waited in parking lot for 3 hours. June 2020, found GPS tracker on my car. David admitted to placing it. October 2021, David sent flowers to Lily's school, signed the card, "From someone who loves you." The entries went on. Dozens, hundreds. Here's my question for you. If someone betrayed you but was also a victim, do you owe them forgiveness? 2 choices. Comment, forgive, or boundaries. Because I needed to decide right then. Does David know? My voice was quieter now. Does he know Lily is his daughter? Emma's silence was the answer. Lily found me in the garage that night. I was sitting on the concrete floor, back against my workbench, staring at nothing. "Daddy, why is Mommy crying?" I looked up. My daughter. Not my daughter, my niece. The person I loved most in the world, suddenly redefined by science. Adult stuff, sweetheart. Nothing for you to worry about. Grandma says Mommy's staying at a hotel. Just for a little bit. Lily sat down next to me, leaned her head on my shoulder. 7 years old and already learning that families break. "I made you something at school." She pulled out a piece of construction paper, another drawing, crayon figures, blue for me, yellow for her, purple for Margaret, still no Emma. "This is beautiful, Lily. Teacher said draw your family, so I drew mine." She'd pressed so hard the blue crayon ripped through. That was me, the blue figure. Evidence of how much force love requires. "Am I making you sad, Daddy?" "No, baby, never." "Then why are your eyes wet?" I pulled her close. She smelled like school paste and the cafeteria's pizza day. Real, solid, mine in every way that mattered. On the back of the drawing, she'd written in careful letters, "Daddy, why is Mommy crying? Would you stay for a child who's not biologically yours? Comment stay if you would. Comment leave if you wouldn't." Because every fiber of my being was screaming, "Stay, but the law might not let me." "Are you going away?" Lily's voice was very small. "Like Uncle David did?" My blood turned to ice. "What do you mean, like Uncle David?" "I saw him at my soccer game. Grandma said he moved far away when you were kids, but he was there. He waved at me." "When, Lily? When did you see him?" "Lots of times, but I wasn't supposed to tell. Mommy said it was a secret." Sarah Chen called me at midnight. I was still awake, still holding Lily's drawing. The extended DNA panel came back. And, "Jake, you need to sit down." I was already sitting, had been for hours. "Just tell me." "Lily shares approximately 25% of your DNA. That's consistent with a niece, or half-sibling in rare cases. But given the circumstances and David's confirmed biological relationship to you, she's my niece. Yes, which means David is her biological father, and my half-brother." The doctor's voice was gentle. "I'm sorry. I know this isn't what you hoped for. But here's the thing. Some part of me had known. Since the moment I'd seen David's name pattern in those messages, since Emma went pale at the question. The DNA didn't devastate me. The betrayal did. My brother hadn't just slept with my wife. He'd planned it, targeted her, gotten her pregnant, all to destroy me. "There's something else," Sarah said. "The genetic relationship is solid, but there are medical flags in Lily's profile. The lab noted some markers that, well, they suggest you should consult with a geneticist. Nothing immediately concerning, but worth following up." "What kind of markers?" "I'm not qualified to interpret, but I can give you a referral." I hung up, stared at my phone. Then I pulled up the messages I'd screenshot from Emma's burner, scrolled all the way back to the very first one. "Saw the engagement announcement. Congratulations. You picked the golden boy, just like everyone does. But golden boys tarnish. I'll show you. I'll take everything that's his, starting with you." David's response to Emma's reply, He took everything from me. Now I take what's his. Dated 2 weeks before my wedding. This wasn't an affair. It was revenge. Premeditated. 8 years of sabotage. And Lily, innocent, beautiful Lily, was just collateral damage in a war I didn't know I was fighting. Margaret brought boxes from the attic the next morning. Old family photos I'd forgotten existed. You need to understand your brother, she said. To fight him, you need to know him. She pulled out a Polaroid from 1995. 2 boys, maybe 8 and 10 years old. Same nose, different eyes, already fighting even then. David and me, different mothers, same father who'd barely been present for either of us. Your father favored you, Margaret said carefully. Not because you were better, because you were younger, easier. David's mother was bitter about the divorce. She taught him to resent you. That's not my fault. No, but David's been carrying that resentment for 30 years. It twisted him. She pulled out letters, old ones. David to Dad, begging for attention, visits, time. Dad's responses were brief, formal. Busy with work, maybe next month. Then David's letters stopped. High school, college, nothing. Until 8 years ago. Margaret pulled out one more letter. This one never sent. Found in Emma's jewelry box, hidden under tangle chains. David's handwriting, engineers printing, precise. Emma, he took everything from me, our father's love, his time, the family I should have had. Jake doesn't even know how lucky he is, doesn't appreciate it, so I'll teach him. I'll take what he treasures most, his wife, his family, his perfect life. You don't have to love me, you just have to hurt him. That's enough. The letter was dated March 2017, 2 weeks before my wedding to Emma. David didn't want Emma, didn't want Lily, just wanted to destroy me. And he'd spent 8 years doing exactly that. The courthouse steps were concrete and cold. March wind cut through my jacket. 6 months since the DNA results. 6 months of legal motions and depositions and nights where I couldn't sleep because the law said I might lose the only family I'd ever wanted. Sarah Chen carried 3 banker boxes, evidence, our ammunition. Remember, she said, stay calm. Don't engage with David. Let the evidence speak. What if it's not enough? It will be. But her voice had that careful tone lawyers use when they're not sure. Inside, the courtroom smelled like floor polish and anxiety. Oak benches, high ceilings, the kind of room where lives get decided by strangers in black robes. David was already there. I hadn't seen him in 15 years. He looked like me. Older version, same build, same profile. But something in his eyes was different, empty. Like he'd hollowed himself out with hate and never bothered filling the space back up. He didn't look at me, just stared straight ahead, waiting. Emma sat on the other side, her lawyer beside her. She'd agreed to testify, for me, against David. It was complicated. She was complicated. But she loved Lily. I believe that now. All rise. The Honorable Judge Patricia Reeves presiding. The judge was older, gray hair pulled back, reading glasses on a chain. She'd seen everything. I hoped she'd see the truth. We're here for the matter of custody regarding the minor child, Lily Rose Martinez. Mr. Morrison, you're petitioning for parental rights? David's lawyer stood, expensive suit, slicked back hair. Yes, Your Honor. My client has recently discovered he's the biological father of the child in question. He's requesting shared custody and visitation rights. Mr. Martinez? The judge looked at me. Sarah stood. Your Honor, Mr. Martinez is the legal father. He's been present in this child's life since birth. He's provided financially, emotionally, and in every way that matters. Mr. Morrison has been absent by choice. Not by choice, David's lawyer countered. By deception. Ms. Martinez, Mrs. Martinez, kept my client from his daughter. Judge Reeves looked tired. Let's start with the biological evidence. Sarah pulled out the DNA reports, both of them. The first showing Jake wasn't the father. The second showing the genetic relationship between David and Lily, uncle and niece, half-uncle technically through Jake. Your Honor, the relationship is confirmed. However, biological connection doesn't equal parental fitness. Noted, Mr. Morrison, when did you discover you were the biological father? David stood. His voice was smooth, practiced. 8 months ago, Your Honor. I was devastated to learn I'd been kept from my daughter's life. Lie? He'd known since before Lily was born, but proving what someone knew versus what they said they knew, that was harder. And you initiated contact, how? I attempted to reach out to Emma to establish a relationship with my daughter. She refused. Another lie, but tactical. Sarah pulled out the next file. Your Honor, we have evidence that contradicts Mr. Morrison's timeline. Text messages spanning 8 years, surveillance photos, a pattern of stalking behavior. She laid out the photos. David at the birthday party, at soccer practice, at kindergarten graduation. Always in the background, always watching. These were taken over the past 2 years. Mr. Morrison has been monitoring this child without permission, without any legal right to do so. David's lawyer leaned forward. My client was trying to be part of his daughter's life in the only way he could. By hiding in parking lots? Sarah's voice was sharp. By attempting to friend request a 7-year-old on social media. She pulled out the screenshots, Mike's evidence. 2 attempts, both blocked by Emma. Judge Reeves studied the photos. Mr. Morrison, did you attend these events? I did, Your Honor. I wanted to see my daughter, to know she was safe. Without introducing yourself? I didn't want to confuse her. Or, Sarah said, you didn't want to reveal the affair to Mr. Martinez, because this isn't about parenting. It's about revenge. She pulled out the letter, David's letter, the one to Emma before the wedding. Your Honor, this letter was written 8 years ago, 2 weeks before Mr. and Mrs. Martinez's wedding. It clearly states Mr. Morrison's intention to take what's his, referring to Mr. Martinez. This is premeditated sabotage, not a father seeking connection. The judge read the letter, slowly. When she looked up, her expression had changed. Mr. Morrison, did you write this? Pause. Too long. I was angry, Your Honor. Jake and I have a complicated history. Complicated how? Our father favored him. I felt overlooked. So you seduced his fiancée? David's jaw tightened. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? Silence. Sarah pulled out Emma's journal. Your Honor, Ms. Martinez documented Mr. Morrison's behavior over 8 years. Stalking, threats, controlling behavior. She attempted to obtain a restraining order, but was advised she'd need to reveal the affair to do so. The judge took the journal, flipped through pages. Her expression darkened with each entry. Ms. Martinez, you're testifying today? Emma stood. Her hands shook. Yes, Your Honor. Tell me about your relationship with Mr. Morrison. Emma's voice was quiet. It started as an affair. I'm not proud of that, but it became something else. He was obsessive, controlling. I tried to end it multiple times. He threatened to tell Jake, to take Lily. I felt trapped. Did you fear Mr. Morrison? Yes. Do you fear him now? Yes. Would you fight for a child who wasn't biologically yours? 2 choices. Always or depends. Comment below. Because what happened next changed everything. David's lawyer stood. Your Honor, this is clearly a coached narrative. Ms. Martinez is trying to paint my client as a villain to protect her marriage. Her marriage is over, Sarah said. Mr. and Mrs. Martinez are separated. She has nothing to gain from lying, except custody of her daughter. Judge Reeves held up her hand. Enough. I want to hear from medical professionals, the child's teachers, anyone who can speak to Mr. Morrison's fitness as a parent. Sarah nodded. Your Honor, We'd like to call several witnesses, but first, we have medical records. She pulled out the hospital documents. Emma's intake form from 3 months after Lily was born. Chief complaint, partner stalking, patient reports, ex-partner following her, leaving unwanted gifts, monitoring her movements. The date was clear. The description matched David. Your Honor, Emma tried to get help. The system failed her. Then Sarah pulled out the restraining order, the one Emma had finally filed 6 months ago, when everything came out. Mr. Morrison violated this order 14 times, documented by Mr. Martinez's private investigator. He can't follow court orders, Your Honor. How can we trust him with custody? David's lawyer was scrambling now. Those violations were misunderstandings. My client was simply what? Judge Reeves's voice was cold, simply ignoring a legal order. Then Sarah stood and said the words that stopped everything. Your Honor, we'd like to call Lily to chambers. The courtroom went silent. David's lawyer jumped up. Absolutely not. The child is 7 years old. This is traumatic. The child has a voice, Sarah said, and a choice. She deserves to be heard. Judge Reeves considered. Long moment, everyone holding their breath. I'll speak with the child privately. With a child psychologist present. No lawyers, no parents, just her and me. The waiting room had plastic chairs and outdated magazines. I sat there for 45 minutes while a stranger talked to my daughter about her future. Margaret held my hand. She'll tell the truth. What if the truth isn't enough? It always is, eventually. Emma sat across from us, quiet. We weren't friends, might never be. But we were allies, united in protecting Lily from the man who'd used us both as weapons. The door opened. Lily walked out holding the bailiff's hand. She saw me and ran. I caught her, held her tight. She was crying, but smiling. That confused mixture kids do when emotions are too big for their bodies. What happened, sweetheart? I told her everything. What did you tell her? That you're my daddy, that I love you, that I don't know David. My throat closed. What else? Lily pulled her backpack around, unzipped it. Inside was her drawing, the one with 3 figures. She'd brought it to court, evidence of her own making. I showed her this, said you taught me how to draw, how to read, how to do math, how to be brave. She'd drawn me in blue, pressed so hard the crayon ripped through. And I couldn't breathe. She asked what daddies do. I said daddies teach you stuff and read you stories and make you pancakes, and her voice got very quiet. And they stay, even when things are hard. The bailiff called us back. The judge was ready. Judge Reeves looked at all of us, David, me, Emma, Sarah, the lawyers. Then she put on her reading glasses and picked up a single piece of paper. This case isn't about biology, isn't about betrayal. It's about what's best for the child. She looked at David. Mr. Morrison, you are the biological father. That's established. However, biology doesn't grant automatic custody. The court considers many factors: stability, history, the child's preference, and most importantly, the child's safety. David sat forward. You violated a restraining order 14 times. You stalked the mother of your child. You attempted to contact a minor without permission. You engaged in a pattern of behavior that demonstrates poor judgment and potential harm. The judge's ruling came down to one sentence. I'm denying your petition for custody and visitation. If you wish to establish a relationship with Lily, you must first complete court-ordered therapy, demonstrate stability, and respect legal boundaries. Until then, you are to have no contact with the child. Violations will result in criminal charges. David stood. Your Honor, this is final. My ruling is final. His lawyer grabbed his arm, pulled him back down. But David's face, I saw it. The mask cracked, pure rage underneath. He looked at me, mouthed something. I couldn't hear it, didn't need to. This wasn't over, not for him, but it was for us. Emma worked out a custody arrangement, supervised visitation, therapy for everyone. She was trying, genuinely trying. I believe that now. She'd been a victim too, just also a participant, complicated, human. The restraining order against David was permanent, but he violated it anyway. 3 months after the court case, he showed up at Lily's school, waited in the parking lot. School security called the police. He was arrested, spent 90 days in jail for contempt of court. When he got out, he moved. Different state. Last I heard, he was still sending letters to lawyers, to the court, to anyone who'd listen. Still fighting, still trying to destroy what he couldn't have. But we didn't hear from him, and Lily was safe. 1 year later, Saturday morning, Lily's 8th birthday. No big party this time, just us. Margaret, a few close friends, the family we'd chosen. Lily was in the kitchen, standing on a stool, helping me make pancakes, chocolate chip, her favorite. Dad, you're doing it wrong. I'm doing it exactly right. Nuh-uh, you need more chocolate chips. There's already a full bag in there. More. I dumped in another handful. She giggled, laughter that sounded like healing. The drawing was on the wall now, framed, blue figure, yellow figure, purple figure. No empty spaces, just the family we'd built from the wreckage. Margaret was setting the table. Emma was there too, at the edge, trying to find her place in the new configuration. It would take time, maybe forever, but she was trying. Lily, did you finish your card for Dad? Margaret asked. Oh, yeah! Lily jumped off the stool, ran to her room, came back with an envelope, homemade, construction paper, covered in stickers. Open it, Dad. Inside was another drawing, more figures this time. Me, Lily, Margaret, Emma in the corner, labeled Mom, working on it. And new additions. Lily's best friend, Madison, our neighbor, Mrs. Chen, Mr. Patterson from school, chosen family, growing. At the bottom, she'd written in careful letters, Dear Daddy, thank you for picking me. Love, your daughter. Your daughter, not his, not theirs, mine. I pulled her close. Lily, I need to tell you something. What? You don't have my eyes because of DNA. She looked confused. But everyone says, you have my eyes because I taught you how to see the world, how to look for the good stuff, how to be brave even when things are scary. That's what makes them yours. That's what makes you mine. She thought about that. 7-year-old logic processing big concepts. Then she smiled. So we're family 'cause we picked each other? Exactly. Cool. She turned back to the pancakes. Can I flip this one? Sure, sweetheart. She flipped. Too hard. The pancake flew up, hit the ceiling, stuck for a second, then fell. We both stared at it. Margaret burst out laughing. Emma smiled. Lily looked at me, worried. Did I break it? Nah, 5-second rule. Ceiling counts. She giggled. Really? Today it does. Margaret shook her head. You're teaching her terrible habits. I'm teaching her that mistakes aren't the end of the world, and that even when things fall apart, you can still make something good. I picked up the pancake, brushed it off, put it on a plate, not perfect, but edible. Lily took a bite. Best pancake ever, she said. Because of all the chocolate chips? Nope, 'cause we made it together. What's your found family story? Share in the comments below. Let's celebrate the families we choose, not the ones biology chose for us. Because every week, we tell stories about real people choosing love over biology, truth over comfort, and courage over convenience. Your comment might be the one someone else needs to read today. And if this story made you feel something, if it reminded you that family is what you build, not what you inherit, hit subscribe. We're building a community here, a place where stories matter, where truth matters, where the families we choose matter just as much as the ones we're born into. Later that afternoon, Lily and I walked to the park. Just the two of us, father-daughter time. Or uncle-niece time, if you wanted to be technical. But titles didn't matter anymore. She held my hand. 3 squeezes. I love you, I squeezed back. 3 pumps. Even when. Dad, she said, can I ask you something? Always. Do you ever think about David? Honest question. Deserved honest answer. Sometimes. Do you hate him? I thought about that. Really thought about it. No, I feel sorry for him. Why? Because he spent his whole life trying to take things from other people instead of building his own. And now he's alone. That's sad. Lily nodded, processing. I'm glad you're not like that. Me too, sweetheart. We reached the playground. She ran to the swings. I pushed her, higher and higher, her laughter echoing across the park. A car drove past, black sedan. For a second, just a second, I tensed. But it kept going, just someone driving home. Not every shadow was David. Not every threat was real. We were safe. We were whole. We were family. Higher, Dad! I pushed. She flew. For a moment, she was airborne, completely free. That's what love does. It doesn't chain you with DNA or biology or legal documents. It gives you wings. It teaches you to fly. And when you fall, because everyone falls eventually, it catches you. Blood doesn't lie. But it doesn't tell the whole truth either. Love does. And Lily, she taught me how to love beyond biology, beyond betrayal, beyond everything I thought family meant. She taught me that family is who shows up, who stays, who catches you when you fall and pushes you higher when you're ready to fly. I am her father, not because of chromosomes, not because a judge said so, because I chose her, and she chose me, and that's stronger than any DNA test could ever measure. The sun was setting when we walked home, orange and pink streaking the sky. Lily skipped ahead, singing something she had learned at school, off-key but joyful. Margaret was on the porch, waved as we approached. Emma's car was gone. She'd left after cake. Slow steps. We'd get there. Inside, the frame drawing caught the evening light. Blue figure, yellow figure, purple figure. Family defined by choice, not by blood. Lily grabbed my hand. Can we make cookies tomorrow? Sure. Chocolate chip? Is there any other kind? She smiled, squeezed my hand 3 times. I squeezed back 3 times. We don't leave. That's the real motif, the one that matters. We don't leave the people who need us. We don't abandon love because biology says we should. We stay, we fight, we choose, every single day. That night, I tucked Lily into bed, read her 3 stories, same as always. Dad, she whispered, I'm glad it was you. Me too, baby, me too. I turned off the light, stood in the doorway, watched her fall asleep, safe, loved, home. Blood doesn't lie, but it doesn't define us either. We do that ourselves, one choice at a time.